Okay, hi. Most of you have probably reached this video because you're in the unfortunate circumstance of having sustained a calf tear, be it from running, from martial arts, from boxing, fight sports, what have you, and you were Googling and you came across my video. Welcome. I myself am going through this injury, and my idea was to create a video, put it out there. People in the comments section could share their experiences. I could share, my recovery thus far, and just sort of provide some information for people going through it, and just sort of form a consensus that we're all going to be okay. Um, and that this is a very common injury that athletes sustain, and it doesn't, it hardly ever requires surgery, and usually the recovery rate is good, but you do just have to give it time, which sucks when you're a dedicated athlete, which I am. First, I kind of wanted to break down how I sustained my injury, and you know how I've tried to treat it up to this point, and what things look like going forward. Let's I'll start off by saying I'm not a medical professional, and you should see a medical professional if you have sustained this injury. I cannot give medical advice. I'm just saying what I've done to treat the injury, and I have seen a doctor. That's what I did immediately after sustaining the injury. I went and saw a doctor. I got prescribed physical therapy, so I'm doing all of that. um, so I myself, I got the injury when doing Muay Thai, doing pad work with my coach. So I'll show you. We were working knees to the belly. Boom, I threw the knee, and as I put my leg back, it just felt like a snap, like I got hit with something metal and right in the ball of that calf. And um, I knew immediately something was wrong. It wasn't like excruciating roll around on the ground pain, but I could tell, basically something serious had happened. And I, pretty much knew instantly that I was going to be out for a while, and that my immediate fight plans were going to have to be put on the back burner. So as soon as, that happened, we stopped. I had to hop out of the ring, and from there I went to put ice on it, and I immediately scheduled an appointment to see the doctor. And for the rest of that day, I had ice, and I was keeping it elevated to keep that blood from pooling down near the injury. So that's what you want to do, because that if that blood pools around it, causes further damage. So you want to keep that leg elevated. So I saw the doctor the next day, uh, and my leg was swollen from here to here. The injury I felt most was like right around here, where the ball, the gastrocnemius sort of meets the tendon here, and then they go down to form the Achilles. So mine was right here. Um, and the doctor was, overall positive. He was like, I would expect it to, look a lot worse based on what you're saying. So they usually will not prescribe an MRI or an X-ray at that time, because the recovery routine is the same no matter what the MRI says. You basically just have to stay off of it, and then do physical therapy, and then it takes 4 to 6 weeks at least. And then if it's a bigger tear, then it can take 2 months. But the recovery rate is really good. Usually you can get back to your sport. I'm about 3 weeks since my injury, and this is a dangerous time. This is where you stop feeling the injury when you just walk normally, so you can get kind of absent-minded and do things that your leg can't handle yet. So like for example, I was going down the steps, and you know, you sort of forget about the injury almost, and so I hopped off the last step, and immediately I just felt that pull, and I was, you know, almost worried that I had just started the injury all over. So you're not going to be healed in 3 weeks, no matter how well you're taking care of it, unless it's just a very minor tear. But if your leg felt like it exploded, you're going to be out for a while. So that said, I was gonna, you know, give the rundown of, you know, the timeline. So I sustained the injury. I went to the doctor. He prescribed physical therapy, and within a day or two, I had seen the physical therapist. I'd recommend that highly, just to have a set of eyes on the injury to sort of keep you motivated and to keep you doing the right things. And then, to, you know, obviously if the swelling isn't gone by a week, then they might want to, you know, do an MRI at that point and, you know, see if you might need surgery. But from what I read on the internet, it's very rare that you need surgery for this injury. So the first week for me, I was on crutches. The doctor gave me a set of crutches, and I felt like I needed them for a week because I couldn't put any pressure on that leg. After a week, I kind of got rid of the crutches, and I was just sliding around, you know, hobbling for a week. And then by the third week, I was kind of walking pretty close to normal, still feeling a tug in that muscle, like it was holding on by a thread or something, but in general, like could walk pretty normally, wasn't favoring one side or the other. So that's where I'm at in week 3. I also wanted to talk about some things you can do. I'm gonna do a companion video where I talk about the different supplements I've been taking, and some things you can do to, you know, in your downtime. Things that can, you know, one, keep you motivated for your sport, and two, keep the injury healing. So I'll put out a video on that in a bit.